Today we'll be showing you how to connect your data sources in DashThis, how to create your dashboards, how to add and edit a dashboard, and how to share your dashboard. So during this presentation, you'll have the option to ask questions through the chat. So my colleague Lori will be answering your questions. So please feel free to jump in and ask questions as we go. And at the end of this presentation, any question that was not answered during the presentation will be answered at the end. So we'll have a question period at the end of this presentation. So let's get started. I am currently connected in a DashThis account. So this is an account for the purpose of this webinar. So I'm currently in the dashboard section. This is where I'll be able to see the list of dashboards created. This is where also I can create new dashboards and where I can create groups to categorize my dashboards. If you want, maybe we can have a look at the menus here, and then after we'll jump in and create a dashboard from scratch. So this section here, integration, is where you will find the list of currently supported integrations. So we have over 30 integrations that have been added to DashThis so far. So you'll have the complete list here. So to add or to connect your integration, you simply click on Add, and then you'll be requested to enter your credentials to this account. So in this case, I'll add my Google Analytics, and I will allow Google Analytics to get the data. And as simple as that, in 2 clicks, I can connect my Google Analytics account to DashThis. Same goes with the other integrations as well. So in just a few clicks, you'll be able to add your credentials. The users section is where you can invite your colleagues to work in the account with you. So you can simply click on Invite New User and enter the email address and click Add. So the user will receive an email containing a link to confirm the access. Now the logo section is where you will store any logo you want to use for your report. Here you can see I have stored the DashThis logo. And the CSV file section is where you can connect any other integration that is not currently part of this list. So you can still report on any data that is not currently linked with DashThis. If you need to do so, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to show you how to proceed. We have a video in our help center as well to guide you through. It's a pretty simple process. You simply need to create a template to let the system know how to read your files, and then you forward your files via email and the system will do the work for you. Now, if we go back to the dashboard section, I want to show you maybe one thing with like how easy it is to create dashboards in DashThis. So if I click on New Dashboard, first of all, I'll be presented with 3 different types of dashboards. First option is the periodic dashboard. It is the most commonly used. Most people will report on calendar periods, for example, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. So this is, as I just mentioned, the most commonly used. We do have an option for ongoing reports. So for example, for the rolling dashboard, that would be monitoring a trend on an ongoing basis. So you could report on 7, 14, 30, 90, 180, or 365 days. So depending on what you want, you can compare 3 periods. And the last but not the least, the campaign dashboard is one used for very custom dates. So you can enter a flexible start and end date in this one. So for the purpose of this webinar, we'll go with the periodic one. So I will choose this one and I will now connect my integrations to this dashboard. So I'd like to use all 3, which is possible with DashThis. So I'll just select the account of my choice. So this one here, Google Analytics, has been added to this dashboard. I want to add a different integration. So I'll click on integration and select my AdWords account. And third one, Facebook ads. So I have all 3 linked with my dashboard. So I'll continue. Now I'm presented with an option to use templates. So you'll find a lot of different templates available depending on the integrations you've linked with your dashboard. So these are templates that we've made according to the most popular KPIs usually used in dashboards. So for example, here are the AdWords pay-per-click template. This is the list of KPIs that will be displayed in that template. So this is just a base to start with. You can always add or remove whatever you don't need from that one. So you can browse through them. We have different options for you. So for the purpose of this webinar, we'll create an empty one. In the dashboard preferences, you will have the option of the period you would like to report on. So for example, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually with different periods. So I'll just stick with the monthly one for now. And the language will also set the currency. So for example, if you were to report for Euro, for example, you would select English Ireland, and you have different options depending on the region. The password is optional, but you can add a password if you want an extra layer of protection for this dashboard. So we'll leave it blank for now, and I will dash this. I will then be directed to my empty dashboard, which I can customize, and I'll show you how easy it is to create a dashboard very quickly. So we'll call this one Demo by DashThis. I will add an image to my report, which is the one I stored in the logo section. And in just a few clicks, I can create a report with different sections. So for example, if I wanted to have a traffic overview section, I would start with a header to put a title. I will call it traffic overview. Then I will go in my preset widgets menu. So these ones are widgets that are as the name says, presets. So we have combined metrics and dimensions and different graph styles so that you can access it in just a few clicks. So for example, if I wanted to have my source medium by sessions, I could have as well, let's have here, maybe that prefers by sessions, number of page views, top pages by page views, and maybe one last, pages per session. So see, in just a few clicks, I've created a whole section about traffic overview. Now, let's create another section. So I'll put another header, and we'll have this time an AdWords section. So AdWords, and in the preset widgets, I have a section specifically for AdWords. So I can select whatever I need from there. So let's have, for example, our cost, clicks, and let's have maybe some impressions. So while this is generating, I have shown you the preset widgets, but we do have the option to create custom widgets. So let's have a look at those. If I go in the custom widgets, the first step is to select the style of widget I would like to have. So in the preset widgets, you'll find a few different styles of widgets, but you can also vary and make it more visually interesting for your clients. So for example, if I get a simple number, I will select then my integration. You could, I have linked one source per integration, but you could have various sources for each integration. So there's no limit. You could pick them all if you wanted. So I'll go with my AdWords. And let's have, for example, the click-through rate, for example. So while this is generating, let's create a different style. So let's have a trend widget, for example. And let's have impression assisted conversions. So one thing you can do with those is to play around with the visual aspect. So each graph have different options to customize the visual. For example, this is a historic widget. If I go in edit mode, I'll have different options. So basics is what has been used to create this widget. And in the visual display, I'll have several options to play around with the widget style. So to make it a bit more interesting for your client, you can play around with those. You can also modify the layout of your widgets. So for example, you can resize them and play around with them. You can drag them, you can stretch them. So there's lots of options here for you to play with. So let's make it a complete section here. Now let's create a section for my Facebook data. Oops. So any widget I don't need, I can delete. So Facebook. Let's create some of the preset widgets. So in just a few clicks, once again, I can create my widgets. So the most popular ones are listed here. Let's have our post shares, comments, and let's create one from the custom menu here. Let's have a trend. For the amount spent. So once again, I can play around with the options. Could create maybe a gauge widget, which is an interesting one. Oops. So the gauge widget is interesting for conversions because it helps you find how you're doing towards your goal. So let's see here, we are beyond our goal and you can actually customize the goal as well. So in just a few clicks, we've created 3 different sections for AdWords, Facebook, and Google Analytics. So see how easy it is. Now, if we go, for example, in view mode, you'll have access to modify the period you are looking at. So when we're in edit mode, we're looking at the last completed period, but if I wanted, I could actually navigate through past periods and or the current one. Another nice feature here is you can generate PDFs if you want. Your client will have the option to generate a PDF as well. And you can share your dashboards via email. So the dashboards are shared with a link. So you have an encrypted string here, which is specific to each dashboard. This is the link you will share with your client to give them access to the live version. So see how much more interesting it is to see it live than through a PDF, for example. You have a dynamic view. So if you wanted to have a hassle-free process, you could set the notifications to be sent via email to your client. So you simply add the email address here. You can add a custom note for your client. You can add several email addresses as well if you want. You can include a summary in the email and a PDF as an attachment. So you have the option to check or not these options if you want. You can have it sent only once, or you can program it, for example, for a monthly dashboard if you want to have it sent every second of the month. And then that's it. You don't have to worry about it. Your reports will update by themselves. Another option I'd like to show you here, one thing I forgot to mention is you do have the option to add in the static widgets. You have a few options we didn't cover. We have the comment box, which is a neat one because it allows you to add some text, but also you can add images and links. So for example, I could add an image of a successful ad that I ran, and I can resize my widget to make it fit. So not only can you add some text, but also some images, which is interesting, for example, for social media. Another option here is you could display an actual CSV file if you wanted. So remember, we looked at the CSV file option here. So this would allow you to create any widget like these ones. But if you want to display an actual CSV file, this is the option you would use. Fourth option here is the editable number. So this is similar to a previous one we've created earlier. So this one here, this is an editable number. The difference is this one would be anything that you want to create by yourself. So anything not fed by your integrations. So you can edit the content and enter whatever you want. There you go. So these widgets would have to be manually updated. So the static widget are not taking their information from any source. So you have to update them manually. But anything from the preset and custom widgets will be taking their information from the sources you have mentioned. So that covers pretty much the basics on how to create a dashboard. One option here is you can change the background. So we have currently the DashThis colors. You could pick a more neutral background. And if you want to have a customized design, we do have a package for the white label option. So feel free to reach out to us at info@dashthis.com if you'd like more information about that. You will also find information on our website as well. The other option I want to talk to you about is regarding the product update. So our team is working really hard to improve and offer new features. So on an ongoing basis, we are releasing new things. So you'll find here everything we've been working on recently. So the product update, you can click and have all the details. You will find a link to our help center. So if you wanted to have details about any of the integrations, any of the options offered, the white label, custom URL as well, you'll find everything you need in our help center. And now you're probably wondering about the billing information. So let's have a look at the plan and billing. So with the free trial, we have a 10 dashboard plan. So the pricing is based according to the number of dashboards you will be using. So we have different packages, 3, 10, 25, 50, and 100 dashboards. So these are in US dollars. These are monthly plans, so we don't have any contract. You're free to increase or decrease as you wish. So you're not stuck with anything. So as I said, the trial gives you 10 dashboard, but you can start with a 3 dashboard plan if you want. So that covers pretty much the options. You have a few options here, but I'll let you discover if you want. I would invite you, if you have not subscribed yet for a free trial, you can subscribe for a free 2 weeks trial and play around in DashThis and see how we can fit, how we can meet your needs. So that covers pretty much everything, all the basics related to DashThis. Obviously, there's lots of options to discover. Now you have probably asked questions to my colleague Laurie. We'll go and see if any of these questions remain. So through the chat. So I guess we're good now. Everybody has received the answer they needed. So thank you very much for joining us. As we said, if you have any questions or if anything else comes to mind after this presentation, feel free to reach out at info@dashthis.com and one of our awesome account managers will be happy to reply to you. Thanks for joining, and we hope to see you soon.